Hello friends. Now today we are going to discuss a very important clinical situation. Focal hepatic lesions is one topic which is an absolute favorite of your examiners. As we go ahead, we'll discuss that multiple questions have been asked based on this particular topic in your exam. Let us look at the clinical situation we have at hand here. So a 32-year-old female was brought to the hospital with abdominal distension. After USG revealed a large liver mass, a contrast enhanced CT scan was done, revealed, as you can see here, a large heterogeneously enhancing liver mass with a central stellate scar and a calcification. So that's a clue. The liver was non-cirrhotic, normal sized. Another clue. Her alpha fetoprotein level was normal. Another clue. Identify the false statement regarding this condition. So extremely poor prognosis, central calcified scar is a peculiar finding, neurotensin B is a tumor marker, complete surgical resection is indicated. Before we go to all these options, let us look at the image here. Remember, for your exams, whenever you look at an abdomen CT scan image, you look at a mass lesion within the liver, the first question you should ask yourself is whether this is hepatocellular cancer. Why? Because hepatocellular cancer is a very important condition and it has been asked multiple times in your exams. Now let us quickly look at the history details in this particular question. Before we do that, let us quickly enlist what are the various clinical clues which are associated with hepatocellular cancer. So hepatocellular cancer is usually seen in elderly patients, usually males. There is a very peculiar history associated with the development of HCC. And what is that? It is a history of chronic alcoholism or liver cirrhosis, right? There is a specific tumor marker which is associated with hepatocellular cancer, and what is that? That is alpha fetoprotein. The levels of alpha fetoprotein are increased, and that is how it acts as a tumor marker for HCC. Now let us look at this particular history that we have here. So the history says that it is a 32-year-old female. So is it an elderly male? No, we can strike it off. It does not fit with the clinical history of an HCC. There was a mass in the liver, right? How was the mass? The mass had a central stellate scar with calcification. This is also not a peculiar finding associated with HCC. The liver was non-cirrhotic, it was normal size, so there's no history of chronic alcoholism or liver cirrhosis. Also, the examiner is telling you that the alpha fetoprotein levels were normal, they were not elevated. Believe me, each of these points that we have highlighted is actually a clue that the examiner is giving you, and therefore this clue hunt is important. And by looking at this and looking at the clinical details associated with an HCC, we have ruled out the possibility of an HCC. And hence now when we look at this particular image, remember, whenever you see a single large heterogeneously enhancing mass lesion in the liver with a central scar, central calcification in a non-cirrhotic liver in young or middle-aged patients, right, all these findings are typical for an HCC. You are looking at a specific variant of HCC, and that is fibrolamellar type of HCC. The name fibrolamellar HCC suggests that histopathologically there are fibrous cells which are located, which are arranged in a lamellar pattern. That is the histopathological finding, and that is the reason why it is called as fibrolamellar HCC. Now, we have already discussed what are the peculiar features of HCC. Now, let us put it in the form of a table and let us discuss the clinical differences between a hepatocellular cancer and a fibrolamellar variant of HCC. Let us do a quick clinical comparison of both of them. So, age we have already discussed. HCC is usually seen in the elderly age group, whereas fibrolamellar HCC is usually seen in the middle-aged group, right? Gender, usually stereotypically it is more commonly seen in males, whereas for fibrolamellar carcinoma there is no gender predilection which is known, right? Now, predisposition, we have already discussed what are the predispositions for the development of HCC. Yes, we have seen that there is a history of chronic alcoholism or liver cirrhosis, right? There is also a predisposition with hepatic viral infections such as hepatitis B or C. Chronic infections can predispose to HCC. There is no such predisposition which is known in fibrolamellar type of HCC. Number of lesions, HCC can either be a single lesion or it can be multifocal as well, whereas a fibrolamellar HCC is almost always a single large lesion or a single large lesion in the liver. That is what is a fibrolamellar HCC. Growth pattern, now HCC is known to show aggressive growth pattern, whereas a fibrolamellar HCC variant of HCC usually shows an indolent growth pattern, right? It is less aggressive. Few more important clinical clues we have already discussed, I told you, right? So alpha fetoprotein is a tumor marker for HCC and therefore alpha fetoprotein levels will be increased, whereas in fibrolamellar variant the alpha fetoprotein levels are not increased, right? Tumor or liver resection is usually not advised in an HCC. Why? Because it is a very aggressive tumor, invades into the portal vein, right? Whereas complete tumoral resection is usually curative for fibrolamellar HCC because it shows a slightly slower growth or an indolent pattern of growth. Liver transplantation is usually considered to be curative for HCC. It is usually not required for fibrolamellar type. Prognosis, HCC overall has a poor or a grim prognosis, whereas in fibrolamellar HCC following complete resection, it shows a good prognosis. So this is a clinical distinction between the various clinical aspects of a hepatocellular carcinoma versus fibrolamellar variant of HCC. Now, when you look at this particular image, remember we have discussed the imaging findings. Let us quickly look at them. What do you see? This is a delayed post-contrast CT scan image. Most of the contrast is washed out. So what do you see? You see a large size lesion, which is a single lesion. So a single large sized lesion in the liver parenchyma. Look at the enhancement pattern. It is heterogeneously enhancing lesion. So this is a heterogeneously enhancing lesion, right? You can see that there is a mixed density appearance throughout it. What is the most peculiar part? What is this at the center? A slightly bright appearing area, that is the scar, which is showing a central area of calcification. So there is a central stellate scar. This is something which is seen in almost 75% of the cases of a fibrolamellar type of HCC. Remember friends, clinically there are only a few handful tumors within the liver which actually show a central stellate scar. Fibrolamellar HCC is the most common one of them, right? There could be central calcification as well. This is also seen in almost 30 to 40% of cases of fibrolamellar HCC. So these are what are the classical imaging findings of fibrolamellar variant of HCC. Now let us quickly look at certain features related to fibrolamellar HCC. What is the investigation of choice? The investigation of choice is something that we just saw and then we looked or described the various imaging findings on, with a peculiar clinical history as we were given in this particular case, a multiphasic hepatic CT, right? So what is the investigation of choice? A multiphasic hepatic contrast enhanced CT scan is considered to be the investigation of choice. What is multiphasic hepatic CT? We've discussed this in detail in our marrow video modules, right? When contrast is injected, it first goes into the arteries, that is called as the arterial phase when we acquire the images. Then it goes into the portal vein, that is called as the portal venous phase or parenchymal phase. Then through the liver parenchyma, it goes into the hepatic veins, that is called as the hepatic venous phase or delayed phase. That is how in multiple phases the images are acquired when we do a CT scan. This is called multiphasic hepatic contrast enhanced CT. This is the investigation of choice for most of the focal liver lesions. We are going to discuss this when we go to the rapid fire round towards the end of this particular session. What is the tumor marker? Yes, this is very important. Do you remember I told you that the tumor marker for HCC was alpha fetoprotein, but alpha fetoprotein is not increased in case of fibrolamellar HCC. So what is the tumor marker which can be used for fibrolamellar HCC? It is a very specific tumor marker, and that is neurotensin neurotensin B. So neurotensin B is a specific tumor marker which can be used in cases of fibrolamellar HCC. Yes, now let us look at the differential diagnosis of fibrolamellar HCC. We've already discussed one, and that is hepatocellular carcinoma. Hepatocellular carcinoma, we have done a detailed clinical distinguishing between HCC and a fibrolamellar variant. Another important differential diagnosis is a benign liver lesion which is called as focal nodular hyperplasia. Focal nodular hyperplasia, also known as FNH. Now, FNH is one of those rare lesions, remember, which also has a central scar within it. Do you remember I told you that there are very few lesions in the liver which have a central scar? Fibrolamellar HCC is one of them. Another differential is FNH. Now, one way to distinguish between fibrolamellar HCC and FNH is to do an MRI and look at this central scar on T2 weighted images. When you do an MRI, a T2 weighted MRI image, how does the central scar of FNH looks? The central scar in cases of FNH looks bright or hyper intense. Whereas when we look at the central scar in case of a fibrolamellar HCC on T2 weighted MRI images, it appears hypo intense or dark, right? So that is one way to distinguish between fibrolamellar HCC and focal nodular hyperplasia. So coming back to this particular question, see, we have identified various clues in the clue hunt that we did. We have looked at this particular CT image and we have tried to identify the various imaging findings as well. So this is a case of fibrolamellar variant of hepatocellular carcinoma. Tell me, does it have an extremely poor prognosis? No, definitely. This is the false statement. What is the question? Identify the false statement. So statement A is false. We have done that. Central calcified scar is a peculiar imaging feature is correct. Neurotensin B is a tumor marker. We have discussed that. Complete surgical resection is indicated. We have also discussed this. What is the answer to this question? The answer to this question is that extremely poor prognosis is a false statement. In fact, if it is completely resected, it is known to have a good prognosis. Yes, now let us quickly discuss certain important clinical pearls related to the various important liver focal lesions. Almost all of them have been asked as questions in your exams. Now, the most common, the first lesion that we are going to discuss is the most common benign lesion, most common benign liver lesion. And what is that? The most common benign liver lesion is a hemangioma, right? Usually on ultrasound it is incidentally detected, appears as a hyperechoic or bright lesion. On contrast enhanced CT scan, it shows discontinuous peripheral nodular type of enhancement with a centripetal filling in of the lesion through the various phases of the multiphasic hepatic contrast enhanced CT. On a T2 weighted MRI image, as you can see here, how is it appearing? It is appearing bright. Right now, when we increase the T2 weighting of this particular image, the lesion becomes brighter and brighter and brighter, almost as bright as a light bulb, and therefore this is given a name. This is what is called as the light bulb sign. This is called light bulb sign of hemangioma on T2 weighted MRI images. This is about hemangioma. Another very important lesion, which is also a benign lesion in the liver, this is what is called as focal nodular hyperplasia. Do you remember we discussed this as a differential diagnosis, isn't it? So again, this lesion, as you can see here, also has a central scar within it. So we have discussed FNH has a central scar. Similar to fibrolamellar carcinoma, we have discussed that this scar appears hyperintense on T2 weighted MRI, and that is how it could be differentiated from fibrolamellar HCC, in which the scar appears dark or hypointense. Now remember that FNH has a specific property, and that it has cells which are called as Kupffer cells. Kupffer cells are nothing but cells of the reticuloendothelial system. One peculiarity of this FNH is that because it contains Kupffer cells or reticuloendothelial system cells, there is a specific MRI application which can be used for it, and that is called super paramagnetic iron oxide MR contrast. So this is a contrast material called as super paramagnetic iron oxide. It is specific, or it is specifically taken up by cells of the reticuloendothelial system, that is the Kupffer cells, and therefore when we inject this SPIO compound, if there is a focal nodular hyperplasia within the liver, there are Kupffer cells, and this contrast material is taken up by these particular Kupffer cells, and as a result there is a severe signal loss which occurs on T2 weighted MR. So this is a specific application for the diagnosis of FNH. Now let us quickly revise this. We have discussed this, isn't it? So in fact, now you must be able to tell me at least 2 lesions within the liver which have a central scar. We started with this particular case, and that is, what is that? It is a fibrolamellar variant of HCC, hepatocellular cancer, and we discussed another one, isn't it? And what is that? It is focal nodular hyperplasia. There's another important lesion I want you to remember, and that is cholangiocarcinoma. That is cholangiocarcinoma. Remember that cholangiocarcinoma is also a fibrous lesion. It can cause retraction of the liver capsule. Apart from that, rarely a hepatic adenoma or hemangioma may have a central scar, but as far as central scar is concerned, it is these 3 important lesions that I want you to remember. Believe me, friends, these are difficult times. There's a lot of chaos going on around you. Social media can be a double-edged sword, remember. At this point in time, I agree that you might be feeling that you are in a difficult space. The exam has been postponed. There are various controversies going on around you. If you really think that all your friends who are so distraught and distracted and troubled on social media are actually your competitors, then you are wrong. They are not your competitors. Your real competitors are those who are still working hard in silence. They are not on social media. They are busy studying. They are busy, revising in their study rooms or in their libraries, right? And therefore, I would want to urge you to also do the same. Keep yourself away from all these distractions and chaos. Try to get into your own peaceful state of studying, one day at a time, few hours at a time. All I want you to do at this point is work hard in silence. If you want to create some noise, if you want to say something, I bet it is your success that is the best way to say it or make some noise. I'm here to help you to do that. In these sessions, we are going to do it in small steps, one clinical question at a time. Thank you very much.